Alabama 1st and 10 on the 12. Again, Houston. He's got a hole. He's over. Alabama touchdown.
I'm just wondering if your listeners know how good a football player you were. I can still see you playing that fullback, knocking those players out of the way. And that I believe I could have run behind you.
Martin, I can remember when we came to summer and you were playing fullback up there. And I saw you in the weight room and watched you work out in the weight room. If you could pick up, you were strong enough to pick up the whole weight room. I wanted to fix it, and I running back coach didn't take it. Biggest mistake we ever made.
The Martin Houston Show with national championship-winning fullback Martin Houston, giving you 1 hour of intense, hard-hitting analysis from an insider's perspective. It's time for the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports, Tide 100.9, and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
My guys are hot right now.
Good morning. Welcome into the Martin Houston Show on Tide 100.9 on your radio dial. The Martin Houston Show can also be seen live on Facebook at Martin Houston Live, at Tide 109, at X's and O Sports, and on at Martin Houston 35 on Twitter and Martin Houston Live on YouTube. That's right. We're live and local on the radio airwaves as well as all those other places, and you're welcome to interact with us in all of those capacities via chat and or the Tide 109 phone line, the Taco Casa hotline at 205-342-9904, 205-342-9904. The Taco Casa hotline is open for business. Taco Casa, quality, taste, value under the biggest cactus in town. Doing it the right way every day for 40-plus years and counting. Go check them out. Great option for lunch and or dinner. That's Taco Casa, tacocasa.com. Good morning, X. How you doing, sir?
Good morning. I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing good. Well, we didn't really get to talk about it pre-game. But we'll talk a little bit about Alabama basketball here in a moment. We can talk about this Georgia game. Looks like the semifinals getting deemed for ratings. We can talk about why this Georgia game, even though it's a regional game, why it could potentially be a big time game. We'll talk about players stepping up, the guys who have made a difference, and of course, today it's Thursday. I get my days right. Today is Thursday, so it means we'll have Hank South, 247 Sports, Bama Online Recruiting, joining us later on in the program as well. And then we can talk about various topics. If you, as a listener, viewer, chatter, would like to bring something to the conversation, you can do that once again. Hey, as we remind you each and every day, this is the day that the Lord has made, so let's rejoice and be glad in it. Take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. All right, now I personally did not get to watch the game. I was working with our youth last night and spent some time with them and encouraging them to get off to the new year right. And it kind of sounds like that may be exactly what happened with Nate Oates and his team. They definitely started the first game off X the way you would want to start off the new year. Even though it was the second game of the SEC season, it was the first game of the new year, and Alabama basketball seems to have been clicking on all of the KPIs, key performance indexes you want to find or see in your basketball team if you're Nate Oates.
Yeah, when you're talking about it, it was a slow start in the first half, down by 3 going into halftime. But the second half, Alabama was able to come out and play a better game offensively and defensively. So it was impressive to see how things started clicking in the second half. Guys started shooting a little bit better. Hey, when you're able to pull things out, when you have a sluggish start, it's kind of the theme of this team. So, if they're winning, they're winning. But overall, it was a solid performance.
Yes, it was 5 guys in double figures, and we'll dig a little deeper into that. But we do have a caller. We're welcome in Curtis Lewis. Curtis, you're in with the Martin Houston Show with X's and O's. Xavier Houston, what's on your mind, man?
Hey there, Martin. Just gonna touch base on the coach talk that we had the other day. It's always a joy when we get to this time of the year. We get to hear the assistant coaches speak, and I really enjoy listening to Pete. Pete talk. Of course, you don't get a whole lot from O'Brien because he talks just like a head coach. He ain't gonna tell you anything.
Yeah.
But Pete gives you a lot of knowledge off the top of his head. Even though he said one thing that made my head itch. But other than that, I enjoy listening to Pete talk up there.
What did he say that made your head itch?
Well, when he was giving the glowing reports on the transfer portal and the guys who got out, he went to Toa, and he was talking about how Toa was able to come in because he had so much. He was further ahead than the other guys because he came out of a program that was similar to their program, so therefore he was the right guy to make the calls on the defense. But it made me think, well, how long have you had Moody? Mm-hmm. Has Moody been with you 4 years?
Yeah.
You teach Moody for 4 years. So you said the guy who came in from another program was more educated about your defense than what you educated the guy who's been with you for 4 years. Other than that,
I guess when you hear that, you have to go is their head knowledge and then the experiential knowledge, and I think that's probably I hope that's what he meant, Curtis, is that Toa came in with a lot more experiential knowledge, meaning that he didn't just know it from the book sense and practice sense, but that he had been out on the field. I hope that's what he meant. But go ahead. What else did you have for us this morning?
Well, I hope that's what he meant too. But of course, we weren't exactly juggernauts at the middle linebacker position all this time, so he could have gotten some experience on that field with Moody.
I agree.
We weren't putting those McGursey guys in the dad playing ranks there out of the middle linebacker position.
I will not disagree with that, Curtis. We had that discussion at lunch about Pete Golding, is that he finally got 2 talented linebackers who both bought into the system and understand the system.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that's the case. They definitely are playing better ball right now, even though they're playing offenses they're playing right now are really vanilla.
I agree.
Georgia ain't gonna do a whole lot with you, and of course you just outman Boulder, Cincinnati. It's like you're playing with the Hurricane Cubs out there. So yeah, we was able to run through them guys too, but it's hard to tell exactly how far along we have come. But the fact is, we've come to a point where I feel a lot better going against Georgia than I would say going against a team that has a offensive identity that's more in line with what they play now in up-tempo football. So I feel good about going to the Georgia game again. I was going to ask you, though, between you and X, what do y'all think would change, or what do y'all think we would see more of in the second game that we didn't see in the first game against Georgia?
From an offensive standpoint or defense standpoint, are you asking for both?
For both of them.
Okay. X, you want to go first? Because that's a great question, Curtis. X, are you there? I see you talking, but not getting any audio. So I'll go ahead and address that while we fix that. But Curtis, for me, offensively, you know how we talked about Alabama has to change what they did, right? After seeing them play all year, we talked about, man, they have got to get rid of the ball quick and all of that. Well, if you're Georgia, what do you think Georgia's preparing for now? Those quick short passes. I think you may see us. I think you may see us do some of the stuff we've seen in the prior games, meaning that we may do some more double move stuff. We may do some more deeper stuff. And here's a question. I'll toss it back to you on the offensive side. Do you think, Curtis, potentially that was will we put Jamison Williams in the slot like we did and use him but then send him deep on a double move. In other words, you know how we had him running some crossing routes and short routes?
Yeah.
Will we add
Yeah.
a double move off of that? That's what I think. I think where he would come across the middle. It won't be truly a sluggo from a full slant per se and go, but I think you may see him come on a route where it looks like he's gonna go to the middle of the field and then go down the seam from that slot. So I think we're gonna make Georgia not just play the quick game. I think they're gonna have to play. So I mean, I think they'll move Bryce a little bit more than they did, and I think we're going to see some of the same things you see. I think we're going to go tempo, 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 and keep them on the field on the offense. X, are you back with me? Still, okay. We'll figure that out in the break. But then from a defensive side of the ball, I think you're going to see. I think you're going to see us do a lot of the same because Kirby has shown for how long that he refuses to change offensive. Now he may throw in a little trick stuff like he did against Michigan, but I don't. Now now if I was Kirby, I know what I would do. I'd run him. I'd put my quarterback on the move more. I get him out.
Yeah.
He's an athlete. I would get him outside more. So I think we'll be prepared for that. So you may see some of that. You remember how we spied Ritter in this game when he would roll. Christian Harris was set to come blitz, or you know, I mean, it wasn't really a blitz, but it is when that quarterback got out of the pocket. Boom, come down and attack. I think you'll see more of that from Alabama as well.
But let me ask you this now. Minus J-Mo, not counting J-Mo, what person, whether receiver or running back, do you think will have more catches in this game for Alabama? Who do you think would be the guy that we want that was not to stand out before? Like I said, not counting J-Mo, whether it's a running back or whether it's one of the wideouts coming off the bench, who do you think is going to have more catches for Alabama in this game?
I think it's going to be between Bolden and from a wide receiver standpoint, and it may be a tight end, but I would say Bolden or Trayshawn from the wide receiver stepping up. And I would say Ja'Cory is our deep threat if we use Jamison the way we did last week. But
what happened to Trayshawn the last game? Did he play at all last game against Cincinnati?
I don't even remember seeing him out there really.
I don't think he did.
I don't remember seeing him out there, so I don't know if he was.
I saw Devon Baker more than I saw Trayshawn.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So I don't know if something was going on with that.
Well, I got one last question for Curtis. Hey, Curtis, what you think about number 4's performance on Friday?
Ford had his best game he's had all year, but of course, again, now you're running against baby seals, so I expect you to have a great game. But yes, that was the best game Ford had all year.
200 yards? Did you expect a record-breaking game?
I would have expected 250 yards against a team with a little bit of defensive linemen and linebackers who are non-athletic. So I'm sorry, I'm giving a whole lot of credit on that. He's not playing Georgia when we play Cincinnati now.
But I will.
Like that.
I will say that Curtis did. I give Curtis props. He did respond Monday. Xavier. He did say. He said B-Rob played well. He said he expected it, but he still had to go out and execute. And when you playing somebody bad, what I liked about what B-Rob did was it was consistent from the first carry to the last carry.
Yeah.
He finished every run, and he made cuts. He made some cuts that he hasn't made throughout the year to pick up a few extra yards. And that's what I saw as a growth. Even though you expect him to get those yards, he still did a couple things that makes you go, okay, he's healthy, he's better. That's going to help us against Georgia. And confidence is a beautiful thing. And him coming off a 200-yard game will definitely pay dividends. If we run on the edge, if we run up the middle against Georgia, it's going to be the same thing. But we can run on the edge, I think, against Georgia the same way we did against Cincy.
And Trey Sanders, he ran for 75 yards.
Yeah.
And I really felt good about that 1-2 punch going into the Georgia game now.
Yep.
Because both of those guys look healthy. and it looked like they was able to get out there and to toast the mail for us. So I feel good with B-Rob and Trey Sanders going into this final game.
All right.
I love to hear.
That's going to help a lot.
Thanks, Curtis. Appreciate it. Glad to have you back on there with us, man. Have a good one. Coming back on the other side, we'll continue the conversation right here. We got a couple guys already waiting on the phone lines. You can get in on the conversation as well at 205-342-9904. The Taco Casa hotline is open for business.
On traffic center, no active wrecks. Starting to see some light rain around the Tuscaloosa County area, so please slow down and be careful. If you do see conditions this morning, give us a call, 205-886-8886. Townsend Nissan is your hometown Nissan dealer with a tremendous selection and great savings, and they need your trade. Go see them. I'm Captain Ray.
Free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes AutoZone America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination.
Hey, Bama football fans, you don't have to search all over to find the largest selections of new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram models in West Alabama. The all-new Tuscaloosa Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram is here to service you at our location on Skyland Boulevard. New owners bring a new commitment to our white glove sales and service. Great deals at our end-of-summer sales on the new 2021 Dodge Ram 1500 Bighorn pickup truck with 0% APR for 72 months with no payment for 90 days when you finance through Chrysler Capital. Check out our inventory online at TuscaloosaCDJR.com or come by and see us at 550 Skyland Boulevard East, Tuscaloosa. Roll Tide.
Before you roll in to watch the Tide, roll into Mary's Travel Center just off I-59 to exit 86 in Brookwood. They have all the snacks, cold beverages, and ice you need for tailgating. If you're hungry, step next door to Subway or to the Huddle House and eat before or after the game. Before you leave for the game, be sure and fill your tank with Marathon Gas. Mary's Travel Center, just off I-59 at exit 86 in Brookwood. Locally owned by the Gibson family. Mary's Travel Center says roll Tide.
Crimson Tide fans, keep your family safe and healthy with the help of the healthcare professionals at Allegra Family Clinic in Northport. They specialize in urgent and primary care, COVID testing, IV hydration, Botox and fillers, weight loss, testosterone, new aesthetic laser procedures, and other health issues your family may have. Allegra Family Clinic and Urgent Care, open Monday through Friday from 8:30 in the morning to 7 in the evening and Saturday 9 to 1. Located at the corner of Mitt-Larry Road and Highway 69 North in Northport.
With the new law, more people qualify for financial assistance at healthcare.gov. Real customers like Taylor.
You know, I wish people knew how easy it was to get health coverage. This new law has made it so affordable. I'm only paying $52 a month, but there are quality plans for even less.
New law, lower prices, more people qualify. Enroll by January 15th at healthcare.gov.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Cloudy and cold with periods of rain today. Temperatures will likely fall into the 30s this afternoon. For tonight, clearing and very cold. Our low at 22. The wind chill index will be in the teens. And tomorrow, the sky partly to mostly sunny. The high at 40. I'm James Spann of the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 48 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Scott Smith and Sophmark Design, doing business for 17 plus years, specializing in graphic design services, commercial printing, promotional products, advertising specialties, and so much more. Basically, any and everything you would need to advertise, promote, and grow your business. Through strong partnerships, strong customer service, and creative ideas, they'll help you market and grow your business. Give Scott a call at 205-292-4680 or email scottis@comcast.net and visit them online at sophmarkdesign.com.
Interact with the Martin Houston Show by calling us at 205-342-9904 or tuning into the Martin Houston Show on Facebook.
All right, guys, ready? Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show with X's and O's Xavier Houston. We got some great callers waiting to get in on the conversation. X, I'll let you respond quickly. You didn't get a chance. Is there anything else before we bring in Robert from Mobile that you saw as something that you may see more of in this Bama game?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have a healthy B-Rob. Trey was still a little hurt what it looked like against Georgia the first time around. And, you know, with both those guys looking healthier, I think that adds a little bit more power and punch to this Georgia game, along with without Mechie. I think, like you said, we will see Jameson get moved around a little bit more. I think Slade and the tight ends will be a bigger factor this go around as well. And defensively, I mean, just keep applying pressure, keep getting Stetson Bennett off his spot, but do it within the pocket. He's not a tall guy. He's about 5'10", 5'11". So make him have to throw in a congested pocket over the top of linemen.
All right. Agree with all of those assessments. Let's bring in Robert from Mobile. Robert, you're in with the Martin Houston with X's and O's. Xavier Houston, what's on your mind, sir?
Hey, guys.
Hey, now.
Hey, since you're talking about Golden, I hadn't given them his props yet. The game against Cincinnati, defense played outstanding. It was a great defensive performance. And you talking about Coach O, and he took some good key plays. That first back down he did saved the touchdown.
Yep.
And really changed the dynamic of the game for Cincinnati from that point forward.
Yeah.
So got to get Golden his props. It was a great defensive performance. If he does it again this year, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, C.J. Watson said something, and I will see if you guys agree, because a group of us were talking yesterday. C.J. Watson said this, I think it was on Monday. Pete Golden's defenses tend to get better as the season goes along. And also, I added to it, he seems to be able in the second half to make the adjustments. And so as the game goes along, he gets better and better. And if you really think about it, since the Arkansas game, I don't think we've had any defensive bust in the secondary, like where guys are running wide open. And we've made teams have to drive the ball on us instead of getting big plays. So I think this defense since the Arkansas game has been really lights out, like top, as good as Georgia was early. I say this defense has been that type of defense down the stretch.
Yeah, and they turned into that down the stretch last year as well.
Yep.
Ohio, they 24 points. I mean, that's a great defensive performance. Because Notre Dame was like Cincinnati, no real threat from the opening kickoff last year. So it'll be 2 years in a row if he does it, against Georgia again. That's okay. He frustrated us quite a bit during the regular season, but down the stretch, when the money was on the table, your defense came through. So
absolutely,
there is value. I mean, I gotta respect that.
When your defense is needed, he's performed.
Yeah, to be down the stretch when you gotta have it. Okay, there you go, and well, not just get enough. They were actually good. What we would consider a really good great defense.
Right.
Hey, I'll let you guys comment on this. Do you think this may turn into Billingsley and Latu's O.J. Howard game, where they weren't used much during the regular season like O.J. wasn't, but when that championship came, he was unstoppable. You think there's any chance that happened in this one?
X, I'll let you go first, and then I'll comment.
Yeah, I definitely think you can see. Do I think it'll be a 200-yard game even between the two of them? Probably not. But you can definitely see both of these guys going from 60 to 70 in this game and a touchdown apiece with the way I think they're going to be bracketing Williams and how Ja'Cory Brooks has come along down the stretch. I think they're really going to be focusing on those two guys as Alabama's big play guys. That's why I said I think the two, Billingsley and Slade, could be the difference in this game.
Yeah, and let me add this, Curtis. If you watch Georgia against Michigan, part of what they did, in my opinion, wasn't just for Michigan. I think you saw part of the game plan that they would try to execute against us. Remember what did we do in the Georgia game that was new? We brought Jamison Williams in motion, right? Handed it off to him, threw it to him once or twice out in the flat. Did you see how Georgia played that? They had Nakobe Dean, when that guy would go in motion, Nakobe Dean even it kind of reminded me almost like a boxing one in basketball where 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 one guy jumps out and has the man and he's gonna pressure the ball. Well, Nakobe Dean was following that guy and attacking. Well, to your point, if they're going to use Nakobe Dean as a blitzer the way they did against Michigan, the way they did a lot of the season, moving him around, then what can you do as an offense? You can move him out of the box, right? Which now leaves potential better running game, as well as the potential to get that tight end down the seam against one of their other linebackers, or you make it look like a run, getting Nakobe Dean's aggressiveness coming at you, and then over the top with the run. With a pass to the tight end. So I think you could see some big plays from our tight ends in this game. And that's also, Robert, the one thing that what did we not use against Georgia? The tight ends.
Right.
So they don't have
film.
film. Correct. So that's why I think that's a good assessment that we could potentially see them step up in a big way. Got anything else before I let you go?
No, I just hope. I don't like the fact that the chemistry between Bryce and Billy Lee isn't quite as strong as I hoped it would be.
Right.
Especially with because Billy gets better chemistry with the two, unfortunately, and that's so hopefully it'll be that game for both of them, one or both of them. So we're definitely going to need them to turn into our problem that Georgia seems to give us with Bowers. I'm going to be interested to see how he does in his next game too, Bowers with Georgia.
Yeah,
hey,
well,
guys,
thanks, Robert. And I think that the Bowers thing was a concession. X, I think that Bowers was, hey, listen, you can't take away everything, but you're also not going to beat Alabama with just the tight end. We'll give him 40% of their offense if it's going to come in the second half and on consecutive drives when we're up by 20. If he starts the game off like that, then that's a different story. And so it'll be interesting to watch. Let's get to Pat. Pat, you're in with the Martin Hughes Show. What's on your mind, sir?
Good morning, Morton.
Good morning.
Good morning, Xavier.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. And wanted to say a little bit about this thing is becoming an exclusive ticket that I can remember back when I first started going to Alabama and Georgia games back in the 90s. And when it came to Tuscaloosa, it was expensive. It was a $200 ticket then. This is becoming extremely difficult for the fan. And
hey, Pat,
to do something.
Pat, this championship game is not about the Alabama and Georgia fans. No, it is. You are not the average fan, Pat, is not a part of their equation for this game. They're selling sponsorships and tickets, and that's why an average fan can buy a ticket for $300 and turn around and sell it for $600, and then they sell it to $600 to a ticket agency who turns around and sells it for $1,000. There's a reason for that, because it's just corporate. It's corporate. They get these sponsors.
I'm going to call it American greed. That is exactly what it is. But it's going to be tough. But hey, let's talk a little bit about this small game. That from what I feel about it, that our running backs need to run for combined 150 yards in order to win this game. Xavier, what do you think about that?
Oh man, that's a tall task against a Georgia defense. But I mean, if Alabama can get up early and start to chew the clock and keep Georgia's offense that isn't very explosive to begin with off the field, yeah, I can definitely see that happen. But I think early it'll be a good mix of play action, getting the ball out to the wide receivers, and mixing in B-Rob and Trey to build a balance to keep this Georgia team off guard, because I feel like if we just try to run it against them, it's going to be a long day for Alabama. But a little bit of mix of the pass early to build a lead can set up a ground and pound game in the second and half, especially the fourth quarter.
Go ahead, Mark. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Pat, my thoughts on it is not necessarily the total yards that Alabama gets, but that Alabama has success when they run the ball, that we're averaging 4 to 5 yards a pop when we run it, especially early, I think matters more, because if they see us running it early, then it'll get them out of what they want to do. Because I think if I'm going against Alabama right now, I'm going to, based off what I saw that last game, I'm going to blitz, and I'm going to use run blitzes to create pressure, but I'm going to make sure that I'm filling the running lanes as well. And if they still have success running the ball, then I'm going to have to get out of those blitz packages, and then we get up into that 125 to 150 range you're talking about. If we don't have success and they're able to stop the run and get to the passer, then it could be, an interesting long day and a tight game and a lower scoring game for Alabama. We just need to score points, Pat. If we score, I will take our offense with Bryce Young and our defense over Georgia's vaunted defense and Stetson Bennett. I'll take it every single time. Take it every single time.
Right. Yeah. Y'all were spot on though, talking about getting the Kobe Dean out of the picture.
Yeah.
I think that's the key to victory, because he is becoming a wrecking ball, and he's got to be accounted for.
Well, he's to that Georgia defense what Will Anderson is to ours. When Will Anderson plays well, there's 10 other guys that plays well. When Will Anderson makes a play, for whatever reason, because he's the emotional leader, the physical leader, the spiritual leader, whatever you want to call him, everybody else plays better. And Kobe Dean has the same effect for Georgia. And so if you're able to limit his big plays and his emotional plays, the other guys go flat. If he has big plays, they get hype and play better. Hey, I got to get out here to get to Hank South, Pat.
Thanks,
man. Appreciate it.
All
right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. All right. As we get to break here, we want to remind you that we have some recruiting questions coming up for Mr. Hank South, 247 Sports. If you want to get in on that conversation, give us a call, 205-342-9904.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no active wrecks. Starting to see some light rain around the Tuscaloosa County area, so please slow down and be careful. If you do see conditions this morning, give us a call, 205-886-8886. Townsend Nissan is your hometown Nissan dealer with a tremendous selection and great savings, and they need your trade. Go see them. I'm Captain Ray.
Hello, this is Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show, and I want to tell you about one of our great sponsors, Overflow Express Wash. Their mission is to provide great customer service with a showroom clean car and an exceptional customer service experience. They have the basic car wash that starts at $7, but you need to check out the premium wash packages, which start as low as $12 and go up to $20. They also have a membership wash club that you can get for starting at $23.99, going up to $39.99. In other words, just double the regular premium package, drop a penny, and you can be one of the great members of Overflow Express Wash. My family and I keep our cars looking good inside and out by using Overflow Express Wash. They're located on Skyland Boulevard, right next door to Alabama 1, or you can find them online at overflowexpresswash.com. Andy Phillips and his team look forward to making you a part of their team.
Hey, Carrie, we need that tax report by tomorrow. Hey, Bobby, give me that expenses.
For Hari's accounting firm, client growth is exponential.
We're a couple of accountants short.
He needs whip-smart accountants at whiplash speed.
Hey, so why aren't these receivables matching up?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Crimson Village Senior Living is an assisted living and dementia care facility located in Tuscaloosa. The Crimson Village motto is "We Own Fun." We've extended our dementia care for the need of the community. If your loved one is in need of a home that specializes in memory care, provides fun and entertainment to help with cognitive skills, and is surrounded by fun-loving friends, please come take a tour at Crimson Village. Ask for Tim. 1410 18th Avenue East, Tuscaloosa, 35404. Visit crimsonvillage.com. That's crimsonvillage.com.
With Taco Casa, it's not really fast food because it's made fresh every day in the store. The quality hasn't changed. The consistency hasn't changed because we haven't changed anything in the food. It's made fresh every morning in every restaurant. I think buzzwords in today's food industry are locally sourced and high quality ingredients. We want to say, that sounds great. We've been doing that since 1974. Under the biggest cactus in town, Taco Casa.
Nick Saban calls it the process. John Maxwell said that everything rises and falls on it. And Coach Wooden said it's what you learn after you think you know it all that makes the difference. What am I talking about? Leadership and personal development. Is your organization, your school, your church, your family, are they receiving the proper level of leadership development and personal development? If not, the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring can help you with that. We have our pep talks, which is a 1 to 1.5 hour lunch and learn, which we can customize to meet your needs, or we have some topics that we present that we know can help your organization. And if you're looking for one-on-one mentoring and coaching, we can also assist you with that. Visit peptalks35.com. That's peptalks35.com, or send an email to martin@martinhouston.org. That's the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring.
Welcome back to the Martin Houston Show, the sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team, on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show. In just a moment, we'll have Hank South, 247 Sports, Bama Online Recruiting, joining us. But I want to tell you about those interest rates, those high interest rates that may be like a cancer right now. It may be eating into your debt. Slow down your interest rates by taking advantage of Alabama's One credit card special. 0 balance transfer fees, 0 annual fees, and 0% APR for the first 6 months. And then after that, interest rates on a credit card from 7.99 to 12.99 APR after that. Cashback rewards, you can apply online. And you may say, hey, I have enough credit cards, but you got some equity in your home, then you can take advantage of our HELOC home equity line of credit as well. Prime rates as low as prime minus 0.25 or rates as low as 3%. Local servicing, no origination fees or closing costs, and up to 100% financing. Take advantage of rising home price values right now and use that money for remodels, refis, college tuition, or wedding. That's Alabama One. Slow down your interest rates with either Alabama One's credit card balance transfer and or our home equity line of credit. Let's bring in, you can find that at alabama1.org. Apply online there, Alabama One together. Let's bring in Hank South, 247 Sports, Bama Online Recruiting. Good morning, Hank. How you doing, sir?
Hey, good morning, Martin. I'm good. How are you?
No doubt, man. No doubt. Glad to have you on with us this morning. Talking a little recruiting. What's happening out there in the recruiting world? It's kind of as we talked last week, kind of quiet, kind of different now. Have the coaching staff put it on hold, or have they transitioned to 2023 already?
Yeah, I think a little bit of both. I think, recruiting is never on hold, but
right.
The focus is on the title game this week. Obviously, they want to take care of business in Indianapolis and wrap that up. But as far as the 2022 class goes, I think Bama did most of its work
in the early signing period, at least at the high school level. I think, that they got who they wanted. I think they're happy with the prep level prospects they signed in December, and now they're looking, at least in terms of high school prospects, probably more towards 2023. I still think, obviously, the portal is an option. I think that's an area we'll see them, continue to look at. We've seen Eli Ricks and Jameer Gibbs join the class. Potentially others could do the same down the line. I think that's an option Ben will continue to look at. But in terms of high school recruiting, I think things are pretty much wrapped up. You never want to say never. There could be a late kid that they push for, but there haven't been any names that have surfaced there yet. So yeah, it's kind of weird. Usually there's a handful of high school kids we're still watching, at these All-American games that hadn't announced yet or plan to sign in February, but that's not really the case this year. So it's a little bit different. So yeah, it's kind of just focusing on the title game and then seeing what happens with 2023 coming up in the next few weeks.
Yeah, Hank, you just mentioned the high school all-star game. I remember it's amazing to think that was 2 years ago, but I remember you coming on after the craziness of that season, and you said, "Listen, there's a young man that hasn't he didn't go to a lot of camps, he didn't do a lot of things, but I think he's going to be a 5-star here shortly." And everybody was like, "Oh, there goes that Bama bump again. They're giving Will Anderson credit because he signed with Alabama. That's the only reason they're talking about him being a 5-star." I need to go back and find that audio because you and I were talking and you were like, "I'm telling you, this guy is a beast." And we're seeing him really for the first time in great detail. Is there another guy this year, or is there anybody from Alabama class in terms of the All-Star games? Give us an update on what you've seen from those two.
Yeah, so the Under Armour game wrapped up last week. Bama had 9 kids in that game, so it was a pretty big showing for Alabama out in Orlando. I think the biggest name, or the biggest potential bumps out of that event were Aaron Anderson, who's already a highly rated recruit, but he showed out big time throughout the week of practices. I know our rankings guys were really impressed with him, and then Jihad Campbell, that was another one that the rankings guys in attendance there just were raving about him. In terms of Will Anderson buzz, I don't think they reached that level. Will Anderson did everything really, 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 really good. Like literally every single rep he took at the All-American Bowl a couple of years ago was like wow. So, but I think in terms of the Under Armour game, those two guys were really were guys to watch. I think they did really well. And then this All-American Bowl in San Antonio, it's kind of been wild. There was a handful of Bama guys that were supposed to play in the game, and now we're just down to 2. I know they had a ton of COVID issues at check-in. I think something like 20 kids tested positive, like when they all got there. So, and I'm not saying that's why the Bama kids are out, but I think that was a big reason in terms of the protocols and all that stuff they had to follow. So only 2 Alabama signees are playing in the All-American Bowl, but in true Alabama fashion, both guys have been talked about a bunch this week, especially Isaiah Bond. He actually earned Alpha Dog honors yesterday out of practice with the 24/7 Sports guys that were in attendance. So they're raving about him, but every they have a bunch of video clips of him in practice, and he's just blown by guys on the field. He's just really showcasing his speed. Elijah Pritchett is the other in attendance there, and he's been really holding his own. He's playing left tackle and left guard for the East team, so he's been playing really well as well. So I think Isaiah Bond, maybe even Elijah Pritchett are 2 guys that could really be helping their case in the rankings too this week.
How you doing this morning, Hank?
Hey, I'm good, man. How are you?
Doing good. Speaking of Jihad Campbell, I heard that he said in an interview that he's going to be playing inside or outside at Alabama. What do you think is his best fit for the Crimson Tide?
Yeah, I think that was a big selling point for Alabama recruiting him, was his versatility. I really like him outside. I think he could really, grow into an elite edge rusher. He already is, but I think he could really take his game to the next level. But I think he certainly has that physicality. I think he has football smarts to play inside as well. So if I was the coach, which I'm not, I'd probably say outside, but he can do both really well.
Hey, Hank, when you look at that, you mentioned Elijah Pritchett playing that left tackle, and Alabama has traditionally had a guy come in when they're needing that next tackle, the next man up has already flashed. In other words, even though Evan Neal just finally got moved to left tackle, you knew it was coming 2 years ago, and maybe the first lineman taken. Is and I don't know if Latham may still be that type of player, because that's what we thought last year. Is Elijah Pritchett that guy, or have you heard any buzz that may be where Bama looks in the transfer portal for a seasoned left tackle?
I haven't heard any buzz in terms of Elijah Pritchett coming in. It's going to be a little bit steeper of a curve for him because he's not an early enrollee, so he's going to come in the summer, and he's going to have to not play catch up, but he's not going to have that spring semester to really adjust and maybe earn that spot. But I know J.C. Latham came in last week for Malik Yor and played really well at that guard position. So maybe he's a guy that competes for it. We'll see how spring goes with Brockermeyer. The kid's already on campus, and not left tackle, but a guy I should have mentioned in the Under Armour conversation as well. Tyler Booker had a really dominant performance as well. I think On Three said Tyler Booker was the MVP of the whole thing. So he played really well also, but obviously he's more of an interior guy. But I think that's a good point you mentioned in terms of the transfer portal. Maybe that's an area if one becomes available that one of those guys is too good to pass up on, or they feel that can better their roster. Maybe come in and play me kind of like Landon Dickerson out of that tackle position, but obviously came in and helped a bunch at center. Then maybe that's an area they go. But for now, I think they're going to see what they have and kind of see who becomes available.
All right, go ahead. You have something next?
Nah.
Okay. As we wrap up, I just throw out any updates from the basketball world that you're seeing in terms of hoops.
Yeah, it's not much. It's kind of been all hands on deck football-wise. Obviously, big win last night against Florida. Recruits are certainly taking notice. I'm sure Bama has all their guys signed, so there hasn't been a lot of 2022 drama. Even they said, they're kind of shifting 95% of their focus to 2023. So, there's several guys we're watching there. Obviously, the big one in state is Cade Phillips, the 4-star power forward from Jacksonville. He's a Bama legacy, certainly a guy that could end up in the class. Isaiah Collier, Jacoby Walter. So, I think Bama will be right there for these top guys again. It kind of seems like with basketball recruiting, it all happens in bursts. There's like 1 month bursts where they add everybody and then it kind of goes quiet for a few months. But staff's working hard. Obviously they've been out to see kids too when they can throughout this season. And I think 2023 will be another strong class.
All right. Now, is the Cade Phillips is that you said legacy? Is that former quarterback and of course Kroll's grandson?
Yeah, he's Brady Kroll's nephew.
And John Kroll. I was talking about John and the dad, John Kroll, Brady Kroll, Reagan, and of course, and then of course, Dad played quarterback. So he kind of has a family. Yeah, he has all types of ties. So, all right, we'll find out more information about him as we move along in the recruiting process. it's interesting how these football players, kids are playing hoops now. We just signed one of those former Bama football players, tight end sons, over to the basketball, so he could do it 2 years in a row, I guess. So we'll talk more about that. Tell us what you got going on, Hank, and in the coming days.
Yeah, obviously, a lot of title game coverage coming up. Obviously, still have the All-American Bowl that's going to be played on Saturday, so we're keeping an eye on that, watching Isaiah Bond and Elijah Bush practice. But yeah, BamaOnline.com, and my Twitter account is @HankSouth247.
All right, that's @HankSouth247 Sports, Bama Online Recruiting. Thanks, Hank. We'll catch up with you next week.
Sure, thanks, Joe.
All right, coming back on the other side, we'll put the finishing touches on this edition of the Martin Houston Show with the X's and O's. Xavier Houston with the Alabama One Insurance 2-minute warning.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no active wrecks. Starting to see some light rain around the Tuscaloosa County area, so please slow down and be careful. If you do see conditions this morning, give us a call, 205-886-8886. Townsend Nissan is your hometown Nissan dealer with a tremendous selection and great savings, and they need your trade. Go see them. I'm Captain Ray.
Here's what's trending on the Tuscaloosa thread.
Good Thursday morning. Tuscaloosa police are on the scene of a reported hostage situation in Hinton Place. Authorities have been there since around 3:30 this morning. Hinton Place is a residential area just off 69 South near Shelton State Community College. We will keep you updated. In sports, Alabama won their first conference road basketball game last night in Florida, 83-72 over the Gators. Click TuscaloosaThread.com for more local news, sports, and weather. It's free. Download the app. I'm Don Hartley, Town Square Media, Tuscaloosa.
Hi, this is Jay Barker. If I wanted to paint T-Town Crimson or any other color, my only stop would be the local pros at the Paint Spot. Don't buy your paint from one of those big box stores. The guys at the Paint Spot know their stuff, offering custom mixes and custom paint to match your decor. Residential or commercial paint from Pittsburgh Paints, Richards Paints, Devo, the Paint Spot. Locally owned and operated since 1971. 2 locations, 15th Street, Tuscaloosa, and McFarland Boulevard, Northport, or online at paintspot.org. And tell them Jay Barker sent you. Roll Tide and head out to the Paint Spot.
Man the Bootman here, inviting you to check out Irvin's new fall arrivals from Wrangler, Ariat, Carhartt & Co. You'll find locally owned, friendly service, low prices, and one of the best selections around. Irvin's also has a great selection of boots for men, women, and children, along with a nice selection of drastically marked down boots and shoes for men and women. I do want to let all of our Irvin's loyal customers know that we're currently experiencing delayed shipments on boots, bottoms, and shirts. So shop now for the best selection. As always, thank you for your support, and remember to tell them Van the Bootman sent you.
Work is a part of all of us. We know that the world around us has changed, and that's why the Alabama Department of Labor is here to get you back to working hard. Work is a part of all of us. Let us help you get back to it by visiting your local career center or alabamaworks.alabama.gov. Funding provided by the USDOL, ETA, and Federal WIOA and Equal Opportunity Employer Program. Auxiliary aids and services available upon request. Brought to you by this station and the Alabama Broadcasters Association.
Hey, Bama fans, before you head to the stadium to watch the Tide roll, stop by JD's Market and Spirits for all your tailgating needs for Bama football games. Located only 3 blocks from the stadium, JD's offers over 500 liquor items, 400 wine items, and a huge selection of craft, domestic, and imported beers. JD's also has hot dogs, snacks, ice, and game day supplies. Everything you need for tailgating. JD's Market and Spirits, 400 yards from Bryant-Denny Stadium on the west side. Call 722-2113.
The sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team. The Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Review, reduce, and ride. That's right. Alabama One Insurance will review your policy, reduce your rates, and you'll ride knowing that you are fully, properly covered. AlabamaOneInsurance.com or 205-342-0112. That's how you can get in touch with your one source for all your insurance needs. That's Alabama One Insurance, AlabamaOneInsurance.com. All right. X, just couple questions. One real quick. First of all, we started the conversation about basketball. C.J. Watson saying, hey, a little shaky first half, but Quinnen looked like a point guard in that second half leading the team. I think everything we talk about, Alabama played defense. 20 turnovers, 21 points off of those turnovers. Only gave up 12 turnovers, even on the rebounding, but had double-digit offensive rebounds. So they did what this team has done to win. And I think there's some like crazy 30-game win streak or something when they've scored 80 points or more.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I forgot what it was. I mean, go back and look at it. I may be exaggerating, but they have a nice little streak going when they've scored 30 or more points. But 5 guys in double digits, X. That's that's what this team is all about, and so they have to keep moving forward. Any other comments on that particular game or anything?
Yeah, no, it was a great performance in the second half. CJ hit it on the head. It was shaky in the first half, but they got it together. They played great team ball in the second half, and you're not going to have a guy go out and drop 25 to 30 every night with his team, but you're going to be able to spread the wealth and have several guys be in that 12 to 20 range.
Yeah. And I am correct. It's the 30th straight win when scoring 80 points or more. And what that tells you is when their defense is on, they're scoring. And when they're scoring, their defense is on. And they were able to do that. But 5 guys in double digits. Gary getting a hard hat award, big time there. Juwan Gary for the second time going 19 points this year. And then Jaden Shackelford at 14. Quinley at 19 as well. I'm sorry. Shackelford at 14, Ellis at 13, and Bediako at 11. When you have 5 guys getting double digits, you have 20-plus turnovers, and you're even or better, you're going to win a lot of games. So I know you're going to be back with me on Monday, so we'll save that conversation and get deep into the football conversation. But I'll give you closing thoughts this morning.
No, I think Alabama going into the Georgia game has to be consistent, has to be ready to do what they have done all season, have the same game plan pretty much that they had against Georgia the first time, and they'll come out successful. But can't wait to deep dive on it on Monday.
Yeah, we'll take a deep dive on Alabama versus Georgia on Monday. I will be back tomorrow at 6 a.m., same bat time, same bat channel, and want to invite you to be a part of the conversation. We'll talk about some guys that have stepped up. Kyrie Jackson, how big a role will he have to play? Brian Branch, a quiet superstar in the making. I think his play will be mission critical. And will that right side of the Alabama offensive line be able to hold up against Georgia, or will they try to exploit it? We'll talk about those things and more right here on the Martin Houston Show. For the Martin Houston Show, I'm Martin Houston. That's Xavier Houston. That's Joe Gaither behind the glass. Thanks to all the callers, listeners, viewers, and chatters for being a part of the program. Signing off and saying, roll tide. Remember this, trust in the Lord always. Lean not your own understanding. All your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. Roll tide.
Roll tide.
Thank you for listening to the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9.
Have a great day, Joe.
On the Tide 100.9 app.